Welcome back to another episode of the Backyard Bullies podcast. I'm your host, Kim, here with my boy, Pete. Pete, we missed you last week, but AJ and Keelan, they came through. They did really well, but, we're glad to have you back. How you been?
Man, I've been all right, man. I'm glad to be back, but I am ready to get straight into it. We got the play-in right now going on as we speak. The Hawks are currently playing the Heat, and whoever wins is going to go on to play the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round.
Okay. I think out of that matchup, I think I'm liking the Heat just because they're a bit more proven. Now, I know Jimmy isn't on the team, but Bam is still an Olympic, caliber player. And Tyler Hero, Trae Young is better than Tyler Hero, but, it's kind of like they have the next best guy, I believe, which is I'd say probably Trae Young is the best in the series. Then Bam, I think Bam is still above Tyler Hero in his career. And
Yeah,
then Tyler Hero would probably be the next best guy in the series. So I think I'm going to roll with the Heat just because they have the better personnel. They got Andrew Wiggins. He's been playing really well. And the Hawks, man, they're kind of like in a state where I think Trae Young, he just needs to get out of there because I don't think they're going to win anything. I know they had the number one overall pick this year, but I just don't see them really going anywhere. I would like to have seen Trae go to the Spurs, but I know D Fox is there now. So, it's just been the Hawks have kind of just been down for the last couple of years. Who do you got coming out
yeah,
of that?
I definitely have the Heat going on to play the Cavs in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They're just overall a better team. They hustle better. Their chemistry's better.
Mm-hmm.
The like you said though, Trae Young is probably the best player in this game, but the Heat have the next three best players. They have not Jimmy, Andrew Wiggins. They have Tyler Hero, and they got Bam. That's the next three best players on the court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think whoever goes on to play really, I hate to say this game is a waste of time, but I think whoever goes on to play the Cavs is gonna get maybe swept, arguably.
Yeah, in today's age, it's definitely hard to sweep somebody, but
Hmm.
Cavs in five at most. So
It is, but just ask KD.
he
He know about getting swept.
do know about
Yeah,
it.
but no, that was a random shot at KD. But I got a Thunder jersey on everyone. This is a Russell Westbrook
Come
jersey, by the
on,
way, man.
Russell.
Shout out Russell Westbrook. So to bring it over to the West, we have the Grizzlies versus the Mavs. I know you caught that game. That was a pretty hard fought game. The Grizzlies kind of made a little run in the third quarter. I thought maybe they were gonna, they kind of did come all the way back in a sense, but then John Morant tweaked that ankle, and I think from there, kind of like the morale of the team went down. But Desmond Bane had a great game. I expected a bit more out of Jaren Jackson. I was a little disappointed in Zach Edey. I know he's only a rookie. He managed to grab, I believe, 17 boards, but I still felt like, man, like the Warriors really have no paint presence. I was expecting like at least, I don't know what type of game to expect from him, but something, I thought he would
Yeah,
dominate in a sense.
yeah.
Hmm.
And see, so I picked the Grizzlies to beat the Warriors
Hmm.
in that last game, just based off of what you said last, the Zach Edey thing. I expected Zach Edey to have a 40 piece. I
Hmm.
expected him to go crazy. They don't have anybody tall enough to guard him. And he's getting the ball down low and missing wide open layups and shooting jump shots from 10 feet and clanking off the rim. Like it was a bad game for Zach. I
Hmm.
hope he can settle down this game and do a little better. But they're not gonna be playing.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be playing the Warriors. They're
Warriors
gonna be
again.
playing Anthony Davis and Derek Lively. So
Hmm. Well, Lively, he's still out, I believe, so it'll just be AD down there for the most part. But it's AD. He's a certified Hall of Famer. Uh,
yeah,
I do feel like, man, Edie at times, like, I guess because the Warriors are running that small ball lineup. So, like, I don't know why he didn't dominate. I know, like, maybe their small ball lineup was greater than their big man lineup, like, so it kind of, like, it hurt the Grizzlies more than it helped them. And, yeah,
yeah,
offensively, he did miss a lot of, like, close, like, little 5-footers and stuff. I know he had a putback dunk he missed. So, just little stuff like that. He had a couple free throws he missed as well. But I think the Mavs and Grizz, I think I'm gonna still roll with the Grizzlies. Just because I don't know, man. The Mavs, something about them as lately. I know AD,
yeah,
he's a great player. He is when healthy. I would say he's the best player in the. Well, John Morant nowadays is pretty great. Who,
yeah.
who do you think, John Morant or AD?
I think I still have to go AD just for
AD.
like the best player in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's close. It's real close.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna have to just stick with AD just because of defensive
For the
presence and
purpose,
rebounding,
yeah.
and he can still score with the best of them. He can drop 40 if he wants to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Grizz. They got Jaren Jackson to kind of contain AD, and then Desmond Bane.
Hmm.
He had a great game as well. So I think that'll be enough to kind of get the Mavs up out of there. I don't think the Mavs really want. They say they want to go on, but everybody injured,
Yeah,
Kyrie
everybody
out.
says they want to go on, but They have
Mm,
to say that.
just go ahead and call it a season. Get some rest.
Yeah.
You know, recover from the
Get your
Luka
health
thing.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kyrie will come back and all that.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies too, man.
The fact that the Grizzlies weren't even able to get a shot attempt during that Warriors game, though, is pretty disappointing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, so watching the game, I'm like, okay, the Warriors took over. It's over. Like we're
Hmm
watching another Steph Curry masterclass, and nobody's gonna be able to stop him. He's hitting and one corner three, so it's pretty much over. And then, I kind of turned my attention away from the game, and
hmm
when I look back, I tune back in, and the Grizzlies are on the comeback. They came all the way back just to have a 5 second call at the end of the game. Like, at least
Yeah.
get a shot attempt.
Something I ain't gonna lie, bro. 5 seconds, I would just threw that mug up in the air, bro. Something
Yeah, I mean
like,
something.
but he must have. And then the thing is, Curry was guarding the inbounder. Who was it? Was it Salty? How do you say his name?
Santi Aldama.
Santi Aldama. Like they had Curry over the inbound. It wasn't like it was Yao Ming or something. Like I'm doing
Yeah.
something. I would
I'm
just
throwing off his leg or
leg,
something.
yeah,
Something. Like
yeah.
I'm not gonna go away from that game without a shot attempt.
Mhm.
Even if
I,
I have to throw it off his back and
it,
catch it and shoot it up, like something.
I don't know if they had any more timeouts left, but call it timeout, something, bro. That was pretty
Something.
disappointing to watch. And then
You can't
I
get a
think
5 second there.
yeah, and then they fouled. I believe they fouled Curry, and then once Curry go
Yeah.
to the free throw line, you're pretty much
Yeah,
cooked.
it's night time.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate whoever wins this game because whoever wins this game will go on to play your team, which is the Thunder,
Yeah.
and I think
It's L's all around.
it's pretty much gonna be a sweep for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man, it ain't gonna be good. It ain't, yeah, it would.
Although I will say as a Thunder fan, I'd rather play the Mavericks than the
Yeah,
Grizzlies.
well, I think the Mavericks are like they're probably the worst team out of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then y'all have the bigs that kind of contain AD. I have Harkenstein, y'all have Chet. So their
Yeah.
best player, y'all have people for him.
Yeah.
I do think, man. Now, do you think the Thunder? Obviously, they're gonna beat whoever makes it, like the Grizzlies or the Mavs. But I think if John Moran was actually healthy, I think like I don't know how he's gonna be after like with the ankle injury and all. But I think if the Grizzlies were to play the Thunder, I think that would be I think it could be a solid series.
Yeah, I think it'll be Thunder and 6 if the Grizzlies play.
Hmm
If the
Yeah, I think
Mavericks play, it might be Thunder and 2. They're not even
yeah.
gonna play the next 2 games. It's gonna be bad.
Dang. Yeah. Nah, the Mavs play. I don't really see them. They don't have any answer for SGA because they really don't got any perimeter defenders like that. Honest. I mean,
Yeah,
well, Max Christie is a decent perimeter
that's
defender,
true.
but even then, ain't like he Gary Payton or something.
Yeah, he's not Kawhi. He's not
Yeah.
IT
Um.
or nothing.
Yeah. I think, man. Yeah. I think the Grizzlies though that would be decent series. But what I was gonna ask is, do you think the Thunder, if they were to they're obviously gonna beat whoever they play, but are they proven enough to maybe get to the finals? Like they're still really young.
I will. We're gonna touch on this in here in a little bit.
Hmm
But I definitely think they have what it takes to make it there.
Okay, okay. I'll take your word on it, buddy. I'll take your word on it. Now, what are your thoughts like on the play in tournament? Do you like it? Because before, if you was an eight seed, like the Hawks, they were the eight seed. So back in the day, they would have already been in there. They'd have been playing. Now they kind of gotta, they gotta go. They wind up losing the first game. Now they might wind up
Yeah.
losing this game. As to where back in the day, they would have already been in there. Like, you know, is that kind of messed up? You think in a way, or is it
I
like,
mean,
well, you got to win your game, buddy?
so it depends on uh like which conference you're in because in the East the like 7, 8, 9, 10 was real close. It was all they were like 39 and
Mm,
or 40 win teams. But in the West it was a big drop off. Like I think it was like a 44 win team and then a 37 win team is also in the play in.
mm,
So it's kind of like if you mess around and lose, then it
yeah.
would you played your butt off all year to get seventh seed at 42 wins like in the
Mm-hmm.
Western Conference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Whereas in the Eastern Conference, the sixth seed got 39 wins. So
I know they were saying that the Rockets, the Warriors are like the second team in like 30 years or something to like for the seven seed. They have the Warriors favored over the Rockets, and this is the first time in like 30 years that a seven seed has been favored over a two seed. But in the West, like you're saying, there's really no like one team is greatly better than and the Thunder are much better, I would say, than everybody else. But like the
yeah,
the Rockets are the two seed, but how many games back are the Warriors from the Rockets? Maybe what? I don't know. I don't have the schedule on
like
hand,
four
but
or five maybe
game,
I think.
yeah, games. So it's not like the Rockets are second seed and the Warriors are 15 game, 20 games behind.
Yeah,
So I do think that the playing in a way, I think in the East it hurts more because like you said. a team in the East can really have a losing record, still get in, and a team can have a great record, be like the sixth seed or something. Was 6 seed wouldn't be in the play-in, but like the eighth seed or something. And now they wind up, they lose to a team that has 10 less games for them, one
Yeah,
throughout the whole season, just because they lost the one game or whatever.
yeah.
But you got to win your game, man. I mean,
That's true though.
yeah,
You
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
you played your butt off to get
Hmm.
there. Like you might as well continue. You got to finish. You got to win your games.
Hmm.
And I understand that. And then to touch on what you were talking about the Warriors and the Rockets, I feel like the reason that the Warriors are favored is because the Rockets are a lot like the Thunder were last season.
Hmm.
Super young, they made it, high seed.
Hmm.
It's just they don't have that playoff experience to kind of combat the veterans of Jimmy buckets, Steph Curry,
Curry, yeah, Draymond,
Draymond. It's
drop
kind
kick
of
Draymond.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I would say everybody is saying that, like, oh, the Rockets are they're 1 year away, they're 2 year away, they're kind of like the Thunder were last year. But the Thunder, the thing that makes the Thunder different than the Rockets is that the Thunder have SGA, and no one on the Rockets, as good as Jalen Green and Albert Sengun is even close to the level that SGA is on. So, like,
yeah,
next year, are the Rockets going to be a bit better? I think they will be. But at the end of the day, they don't have a SGA type player. They don't have a 1A.
yeah,
Jalen Green is a great player. Albert is a great player. But if you got SGA, if you got a player like SGA on the team, kind of like anything can happen. But the Rockets don't really have that kind of player. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think they can get it depends on how much the guys really develop. Like if Jalen Green takes a crazy step forward and he becomes a 1A, you know what I mean, Devin Booker
yeah,
type player, type, Donovan Mitchell 1A type guy, then I could see. Well, even Donovan Mitchell hasn't proven to be a 1A type guy or Book really in a
yeah,
sense, but they're above him. Um, then maybe they can do something, but I don't know. They don't got that guy. Don't got that, especially in the playoffs. The pace slows down. We were saying on the last podcast, Jalen
yeah,
Green kind of thrives off of the chaos of the like the because he's so athletic. The fast paced regular season,
yeah,
the kind of just the turnovers and all that. Like he's not arguably the smartest player. He's not really like a high
yeah.
IQ type player. So when the pace slows down, I wonder is he still going to be like a consistent scorer? Is he still going to be able to score in the half court and stuff?
Yeah. I will say if I had to pick a player on the Rockets to be, that they're 1A, I'm picking Alp.
Hmm.
Jalen Green, he's a great player, but like you said, unless he takes that really big leap next season, he's still gonna be, they're still gonna be like in need of a main player.
Hmm.
I feel like Alp could possibly be that main player, in this season, next season. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see what happens in the playoffs for sure.
Because I do think the Rockets, they are close, but like again, the Thunder had SGA. Now SGA is better than anybody on the Rockets. You can make a
Yeah.
case. Would you say J Dub is better
J
than
Dub might
anybody
be better than anybody on the
on the
Rockets.
Rockets? And then Chet
Chet.
is might. I mean, you got
You know
Alperen,
what I'm saying?
who's an all star, but it's
He might
not
be
like
better than Jalen Green.
yeah, but it's not
Whereas
like
so then,
hmm but it's not like Chet is far away from Jalen Green and Alperen as far as like
yeah,
player wise. So it's like yeah, they got a good team, but they don't got them guys.
yeah. Well, I
Mm.
mean, there's been a lot of buzz, because the Suns are in KD done. So there's been a lot of buzz about KD going to the Rockets. Do you think that's a good idea?
Not at all. Not at all,
Okay.
bruh. I I don't want to come off like a KD hater, but at KD, he's 37 years old. He's been in Brooklyn. He had Kyrie, he had Harden. Yes, it was some COVID stuff going on. Yes, it was some injuries going around. But they could have, hey, run, we all bros. Let's just keep running it back until we, get to the finals or until we win one or something. It was
Yeah,
like, nah, this ain't for me. Harden wind up leaving, Kyrie wind up, doing his thing.
yeah,
Uh, and then so they didn't win anything there. And he handpicked the guys personally. It's not like he wind up with.
yeah. He just so happened with
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
Then he had Russell Westbrook and Harden earlier in his career. They didn't win nothing. Then he had and now he has Book and he had Bill and he had was Chris Paul? It was Chris Paul, him and Book for a while, I think,
It
right?
was Chris Paul,
Like
him
a
and Book.
year.
Then they
Hmm.
lost. Then it
Hmm.
was him, Book, and Beal.
Yeah, because they had shipped I think Chris Paul to Washington or something, and then he got out of there.
And got to the
Um,
Spurs.
yeah. I would say, man, KD. Nah, I don't want KD because he's gonna break up the young nucleus. If the Rockets roster wasn't so good, I would say like if the Rockets were the eighth seed or the ninth seed, I would say sure gamble for it. But the Rockets are the second seed,
Yeah.
like in a hard West too. So you really want to take the gamble and get a 37-year-old KD just for him to maybe lose two playoff series and be like, yeah, I don't like it here anymore. And now you didn't gave up, Jalen Green or whoever it may be for somebody who's going to be 40 soon. You know, he's no. It's not like he's not like he's Braun in a sense, or where or
Yeah,
Shaq. Like if we get him instantly, there's players that we know if they go to a team, we're instantly gonna go to the finals. I would say KD is not in that category of players. If you get
yeah,
KD
not
on your
anymore at
team,
least.
I don't think ever, honestly. If you get KD on your team, I don't think it's a guarantee that you're gonna be a contender. Like Shaq,
That's
Shaq goes
true.
to a team,
That's
we
true.
know they're gonna at least go conference finals,
Yeah,
finals. Now you say Cam, but KD went to a team, they won the finals. They had already won the
they
chip.
already
They
had.
had
Yeah,
already won
they went 73 and
games.
9,
Mm-hmm.
and they only lost that season because they blew a 3-1 lead. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they
So
already had that mentality. So KD going there was just
there's like
extra.
icing on the cake. Like, oh, KD
Yeah,
went to the Warriors. That made them a championship. They had already, that made them a champion. They had already won. So
yeah, and they
if,
won without him after.
yeah, they
So
won without him. So to me, KD, like I said, he's an all-time great player, but I don't know if I can put him in that elite category of like if we get KD on the team,
automatic contenders.
automatic contender. He hasn't proven to me to be. But somewhere I would like to see KD go is maybe like hypothetically, I don't know how the money and everything would work out, and hey, you'd have to trade somebody for him. But like if you were to go to the Bucks with Dame and Giannis, like on some kind of hypothetical where if they could retain
Yeah,
Dame and retain Giannis, that'd be pretty cool to see. But I know they probably
yeah,
have to give up like I don't know Bobby Portis. They probably have to give us some picks. They might, I
yeah.
would say, hey, now what if I came to you and I was the Bucks and I said, here's Dame, give us KD.
If I'm the Suns, I'm taking it because KD doesn't want to be there,
Hmm. Do you
and
think? Oh,
maybe I can
sorry, go
get
ahead.
Beal up out of there too.
Hmm. Oh, so yeah, so get Bill, KD to them. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
and give me Dame and give me Bobby Portis, or give me Dame and give me one of the young guys, Pat Connaughton or something.
Mhm. Yeah. Do you think KD and Giannis would be enough?
I don't think I think Giannis and KD will probably clash a little bit because Giannis likes to have the ball in his hands most of the time,
Hmm.
and then he'll try to defer to KD. I don't really like that aspect. I want Giannis to be the main player on the team.
Hmm.
But one place that I would like to see KD go is the Mavericks. I don't know how that's gonna work, but him, Kyrie, Anthony Davis,
Hmm. Clay,
Clay. I mean,
Lively, Gafford.
that's gonna be
That.
that would be a nice team if they could retain most of their core players.
Mhm. Yeah, that would be a pretty elite squad, especially
Yeah,
if everybody's healthy. And I think if he were to win with that squad, I think he'd be the best player on the team.
yeah.
And I
Best,
wouldn't.
second best, 1A,
Yeah.
1B.
And I wouldn't have a problem saying, "Hey, KD, you earned that chip. You were the best player on the team." Because I think he'd still be better than Kyrie. I think he's better than
Yeah.
AD, and that'd
Okay.
be that'd be pretty cool. We down here in Texas anyway, so
Yeah.
I'd definitely be going to that parade. But yeah, that'd be cool to see in the Dallas, especially because Dallas, I know they hurting right now
Yeah.
with Luca being
With the
gone and
Luca
everything.
trade,
Yeah,
so maybe they can get
KD and
get a
Ngannou,
little boost, little pick me up.
yeah, something, yeah, yeah, chug jug or something.
Yeah. But we did get way off
That's all.
topic. We got to go back to first round matchups.
Hmm. Oh, so who do you think is the most exciting matchup? I know we got Lakers versus Wolves. A lot of people have been talking about that with Braun, Luca, Ant Man. That one probably has the most stars. And as far as the first round,
Yeah.
what matchup do you think is probably the most exciting series
The
wise?
most exciting matchup, the one that I'm most excited for, is probably the Nuggets versus the Clippers.
Hmm.
That's gonna be a crazy matchup. I have Clippers winning that in seven.
I got something to say about that, bruh.
I do.
Man, shout out my boy Kawhi. Kawhi, we need a 40 piece every night, dog. I think Kawhi. I mean, man, Kawhi my favorite player, y'all. I'm hoping he can stay healthy, man. Claws up, man. Claws up.
If
But
Kawhi can stay
um,
healthy throughout the playoffs, I think the Clippers are probably one of the most dangerous teams
mhm,
in the playoffs, especially with the way that Zubac been playing,
mhm,
their defensive prowess. James Harden been turning back the clock. I don't know what's been going on. Bro got the fountain of youth in his
mhm,
cupboard, the strip club or something. He's going
mhm.
crazy. That's a real nice team, and I do not want to face them.
Yeah, I think if Kawhi can stay healthy, that's always a question with Kawhi.
Yeah,
Can he stay healthy? Will he stay healthy? I don't think. I think even with Kawhi being healthy, I do think they could beat the Nuggets. I don't know if they would. I don't think they would win the championship. I don't think anybody's going to beat Boston. But if Kawhi can manage to stay healthy during this series, I think I would actually take the Clips. I am biased because I am a big Kawhi fan, but I think I would take the Clips in seven, man. And plus
yeah,
Kawhi, he needs to get his revenge because the Nuggets had got him in the bubble. They came back on him 3-1. But Doc Rivers was his coach, so are we really gonna hold it
We
against
can't
Kawhi.
hold that against
It's
Kawhi,
fine,
man. It's
right?
Doc Rivers' fault.
Yeah. But I think the series that I'm most excited for is down here in the H, Rockets versus Warriors because Rockets finally being the second seed. We really haven't been that great, since Harden left. And I think we have the personnel to match up with the Warriors. This is like veteran presence versus raw athleticism. We got Amin Thompson to guard Curry. I think, we seen what Amin did to Curry, not too long ago. I think he held him to like 1 for 10
Three
or something.
points, yeah.
Yeah, he only had 3 points. And then we got Dylan the villain from my man Jimmy. Hey, first of all, Jimmy was on one the other night. Jimmy was on one. I did not. I mean, I ain't gonna
Jimmy
say I
was
didn't see it
on.
coming, but I was like, is Jimmy Wash? Is he still that same
Oh,
Jimmy?
it's
This
playoff
Jimmy,
Jimmy.
bruh, that was prime MJ right there.
That was
Like,
playoff Jimmy.
yeah, it really was. It really was. But I think Dylan the villain, Dylan, he a grimy player. He gon' he ain't taking
Yeah,
no, you know,
yeah. He ain't taking no mess, but
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
is gonna get a 40 ball
yeah,
dropped on
yeah.
him.
I mean, I have Jimmy is probably going to average, 20 something, but hey,
Yeah,
as long as he can make them inefficient, the great players are going to score. It's just about the
yeah,
efficiency in which they score. So if he can, make it tough on them, especially if the series gets drawn out. Like imagine Dylan the villain. Now I know some of y'all saying, Dylan the villain, oh, he ain't all that, but a guy like Dylan the villain, I don't know how tall he is necessarily. He's pretty, he's yoked up. He's pretty strong, guarding
yeah.
you, hounding you. Pause for 7 games, bruh. That's tiring to anybody.
That's time for anybody. That's for sure. And it will wear down on you. You'll start, just shooting shots like, man, all right, bro,
Yeah,
damn, and passing the ball
yeah.
like, all
The
right, bro, move, bro.
pass is gonna
Yeah,
get lazy. You know what I mean? You going
yeah,
yeah, mental fatigue. And then Adams and Alperen, when they're in the game at the same time, it should be a rebounding
yeah.
I don't
A
know,
rebounding feast for
rebounding
that. Yeah,
rainstorm. Like yeah,
yeah. No, for real.
because I mean, other than that, I know, and they're not even playing. The Warriors haven't even been playing Kaminga, and I would say he's probably their most athletic player, like
Yeah,
their young
and they
guy.
barely play. They barely play. Kevon Looney.
Yeah, and he's probably their best rebounder. Well, Draymond's pretty good, but
He's the
when
tallest
it's
dude on the
yeah.
team.
So I'm like, man, the Rockets, don't sleep on the Rockets. Like I said, it's kind of raw athleticism, youth versus like
Versus
veteran,
veteran. Yeah,
yeah, versus the veteran presence. But Curry, he gonna be tough, but we'll see. But I see. Who do you think is the most important player in the playoffs, though?
so I picked the Clippers to win at 7
Hmm.
because I don't necessarily believe in this player who I think is the most important is Jamal Murray for the Nuggets.
Mm.
Their coach just got fired. Jokic been averaging. He's probably gonna average a 30-point triple double in this first series. But if Jamal Murray doesn't, hoop like he's supposed to, then they're gonna lose, and
Hmm.
they might lose in 5 if Jamal Murray don't hoop like he's supposed to. But if he does hoop like he's supposed to, I feel like they can make a deep playoff run. So that's why I feel like he's the most important.
Mm. I agree in a way, but I mean he's not my favorite, but I do agree like with your points. Like he's not my most important, but I agree with your points. I did just go to the Rockets Nuggets game, and Nuggets wind up they beat the shot the Rockets, but he was pretty inefficient, bro. He was kind of he wasn't looking. He was missing a lot of middies. He was
Yeah,
he does have he kind of is a sometimey player, in a way, and I could definitely see why like he's the most important in a way
yeah,
because. He if Jokic is gonna be there, we need you to do your job.
yeah.
But
We need you to do your job. Call your
mm,
girl, and get it right, bro.
whoa,
Everybody need to do this. They need them, and they need the job done.
whoa, whoa. I'm gonna say Ant Man, man, Ant Man,
And man, all right, all right.
because Ant Man he kind of the lone guy out there in Minnesota. It's kind of back to them KG days in a way because Julius Randle is there. He is a great player. Don't get me wrong. Nas Reed is there, a great player. But it's just like he going against Braun and Luca. And like I said,
Yeah,
I think this series probably has the most star power. Even if Ant doesn't win this series, I think he's the most important. Because without Ant, I would say he has the
they
most
wouldn't have been
pressure
there.
and he is the most important. Without Ant, there's really nothing there with the Wolves.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I think that Ant he is kind of all on his back. So for the series to even be competitive, Ant's gonna have to play a hell of a series. I mean, I don't think anybody will fault him or get on him too bad if he does lose. But I'm gonna need to see an MJ versus the Celtics, type performance.
yeah.
You know.
And okay, so you touched on you're the most pressure to perform in the playoffs,
Mm, mm,
and so you said Ant Man was also your most pressure to perform.
mm.
I got SGA down there because everybody been telling me a whole season, don't worry about it. it's their regular season team. It's just a regular season team.
Mm.
SGA. I think SGA is gonna win the MVP. So
Yeah,
everybody's been telling you, you're just a regular season team. You're not gonna perform in the playoffs, and you win the MVP. Like that's a lot of pressure. I feel like
mm.
we gonna have to step it up.
Yeah, that is true because if he does want to win the MVP and they go out in the first round, that's gonna look bad, man.
Yeah, it's gonna.
And I know a couple weeks ago I was saying SGA, but with the numbers Jokic has been putting up, I think Jokic should get it. But if SGA does get it, I won't be mad. But I could definitely see that. But I think I'm gonna switch it up. I said Ant for pressure, but I think I'm gonna say Kawhi because
Okay.
it's almost like if Kawhi is there, we know what he's gonna do. He's one of the top, five
Yeah.
greatest players, in the NBA currently when healthy. But that's the question: is he gonna be healthy? So I think the pressure is on him. Like, does the organization want to keep going forward with him? Are we still gonna look at him as that kind of guy? Like a lot of people have already like given up on him. Now let's
Yeah.
say 3 years in a row he's not gonna be able to play in the playoffs. That's pressure, man.
Yeah.
And we're paying you all this money. We need to see something. Get us a game seven. Win a
Or
playoff series.
give me a series or something.
Yeah.
And I do agree with that because I mean I said if Kawhi stays healthy, they could make a deep playoff run.
Mhm.
Without Kawhi, they're bouncing the first round. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now I know you said Jokic's gonna average a 30-point triple double. Hey, don't sleep on my man Zubac though. Don't sleep on
hey, I'm
Zubac.
not sleep on Big Zoo. I'm not sleep on Big Zoo, but
Hey,
Jokic been averaging the 30. Jokic averaged triple double
mhm.
for the season. So
Yeah. Yeah,
who's
that's pretty
stopping them? They
bad.
played Big Zoo, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I
they
want to
did.
check his stats. I want to check his stats.
Hey, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
Didn't he just drop a 60 piece?
Yeah. Man, now, I've been seeing this going around. Speaking of like people guarding Jokic, they said Shaq versus Jokic, bro. Like, are they? I don't know. One on one,
man,
first of all, how would one on one go down?
I heard I heard Shaq respond, and I'm
Mm.
with Shaq. Slovenian chicken. Shaq about to man, what? He about to put the ball in his hand, two dribbles, drop step, slam on him.
Dang. If there's any Slovenians watching, I need some chicken, man. I never had that. I had jerk
I
chicken, I
know
had barbecue chicken, had grilled chicken, but I never had Slovenian. All
I
right.
never had that, but if we watch Shaq and the Joker play,
Yeah, yeah.
we're
I
gonna see
think
something. We're gonna get
that's
something.
yeah. I just think Shaq got a better chance at one on one. That's gonna be tough because Joker's one of the best abilities is that he passes. One on one, there's no
Yeah,
passing going on. So I think Shaq will probably have a better chance guarding Jokic than Jokic would have guarding Shaq. Uh, I think if they were to play like in an actual game, I think Jokic would still get good numbers.
I think
But
Jokic can still have his numbers.
mm,
As far as like the passing and maybe
the,
that's it, just the passing because I feel like
the rebounding would go.
Shaq gonna out rebound him for sure.
Mhm,
Shaq gonna outscore him for sure. And then he's also guarding Jokic, so Jokic isn't gonna score as much as he does
mhm.
because it's not like Jokic is way faster than Shaq either.
Yeah,
Jokic is he's a little
yeah.
slow. He's a
He
bigger
might be
guy.
slower, arguably.
Yeah, yeah. Especially
Yeah.
Orlando
So
Shaq. You
yeah.
seen that? Yeah. So yeah, I got to go Shaq all around, man. Aside from passing.
I think their best bet if they were to play like 5-on-5 was like maybe pick up like another big like a Dwight. Well, Dwight is all time like defender, but pick up somebody like a Capella. Put Capella on Shaq on the defensive end. Just have him foul the shit out of Shaq. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean Shaq gonna dunk it anyways, but just because if you have Jokic guarding Shaq, Jokic gonna foul out the game, and if Jokic
Oh
foul out the
yeah, for
game,
sure.
if Shaq got any of the teams he was on, either the Heat
Yeah.
or the Magic. He got Penny, or he got on the Lakers with Kobe. Kobe or
Yeah.
whoever gonna go to gonna get cooked. I mean, gonna go to work. So now you got Kobe and Shaq, or Penny and Shaq, or whoever and
I
Shaq.
mean, Wade and Shaq
Yeah,
are.
yeah. Wade and Shaq are going crazy, and now Jokic isn't even in the game. You don't stand a chance, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not even. Yeah, it's not even
Yeah.
close. I feel like, and
Hmm.
I hate to say it because Jokic, he got 3 MVPs. He's one of the best in the league, but it's just Shaq gonna give him more fist than Foot Locker. Like it's crazy, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
what is he gonna do? Like he can't guard him.
Hmm. I think that would be. Now the others would have to make shot. Jokic would definitely have to. He'd be relying more on his passing ability in those games.
Yeah.
They would have to. Jamal Murray and them would have to step up.
Sweep.
Sweep, you think? You think? You
Sweep.
think? You think any
Sweep.
version of the Nuggets?
Any version of the Nuggets versus any team Shaq was on other than like the
You think?
Celtics or the
Yeah, yeah,
Cavs.
well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like any like prime Jokic and any prime Shaq team sweep.
So you think even the Nuggets that won the
Penny and
chip
Shaq.
versus Penny and Shaq or
Nuggets that
'06
won the chip
Wade?
versus Penny and Shaq. Nuggets that won the chip versus '06 Wade and Shaq.
Mm. I think the
Ooh.
Kobe and Shaq Lakers is kind of we already
I
know
mean,
that.
yeah, yeah.
That's
We're
why
not
we
gonna
even
bring up
said. Yeah.
Kobe and Shaq. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man. Penny and Shaq
Penny and Shaq,
versus
man. Penny gonna lock Jamal Murray up.
uh,
Penny's 6'5".
he taller than that. He probably like six
He
seven, six
probably
eight.
taller than that. Yeah,
Yeah, I
coming
think.
down like Ben Simmons.
Hey, that would be a good series, I think. But like, I think the man, because Dream swept Shaq, but Jokic
That's
ain't no
true.
Dream. No, that's
Jokic
Dream.
ain't Dream.
If any,
Dream swept Shaq, but Dream was crazy.
crazy. And I think if anybody is better than Shaq, it's probably like
It's
Dream or
Dream, yeah.
Kareem.
Kareem or something. Or
So
Wilt Chamberlain mythical ass.
yeah, I
But other
ain't.
than that,
That,
yeah.
yeah. So oh man, that'd be a good series. That would be a good series. That'd be good shit. But man, who do you think is the best duo though? Now I have a few duos lined up in front of me at random. I want you to blindly rank them without knowing which duo is gonna come next. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
So first one we got is Dame and Giannis.
Dame and Giannis. Is Dame's in the playoffs?
Well, he had the blood clot, but they did
Yeah.
say I believe he's gonna miss game one. He might miss game two, but if they move on to they're gonna try to get him back for the round one. But especially if they
Okay.
go to like
Round
round
two.
two, he'll be there.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go three because I have a couple of duos in mind that if they're here, they're above them. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
three. I'm gonna go three.
Okay. Next up, we got Jokic and Murray.
Jokic and Murray. Okay, so I feel like Jokic is probably one of the best players in like the duo, uh, like in all the duos in the playoffs.
Mhm.
But also Jamal Murray is probably one of the worst players of the duo. So I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna put them four.
Okay. Okay. Next, we got Luca Magic and King James.
Number one,
Number
number
one?
one, number one. Luca X Braun, number one duo in the playoffs.
I don't know. It's two guys out east, and I'm thinking maybe
They're going number two. Brown and Tatum. I'm hoping
that
it's
I
not who
haven't
you're
said them,
thinking.
but that,
If
that
they're here, they're number two. I was waiting.
all right. Next up, we got Harden and Kawhi.
Harden and Kawhi. I think I kind of messed my list up because I don't want to put them five, and then you come out with somebody that's not Tatum and Brown. I'm gonna put them five. I'm put them five and hope that Tatum and Brown is next.
Okay. Okay. JT and Brown.
Okay, JT and Brown number two. Yeah,
Number two.
I think I got a perfect list
Yeah, that's a pretty good list. I think the only thing I think about JT and Brown, I think it's kind of disrespectful to not have them number one.
because they just
They're
want to
because
chill.
they just won a chip. They're both really young. They really don't have any history of injuries. They're both about 6'7", 6'8". They can guard in the perimeter. They can play like 1 through 4. Um, and I just know Braun is 40. It's still Braun. And Luca, he's not the best defender, but yeah,
Luca's not the best
but it is
defender,
Braun and
but
Luca.
it is Braun and Luca. I
Hmm.
mean, okay, so I looked at it like this. Okay, you got Luca. He carried the Mavericks, which is a way worse team than he has this year.
Hmm.
He carried the Mavericks to the championship last year,
Hmm.
and then teamed up with LeBron, who has been carrying his team for decades to the championship. Like, and they're talking about Braun as the the Robin in this situation, and Luca's Batman. So I mean, when you got Luca as Batman, I got to take Luca over JT, and
Okay.
then
Hmm.
you got Braun as Robin. I'm taking Braun over JB just out of sheer athleticism alone. Still at 40, so
Hmm. The only thing I will say now, I'm not saying that JT is better than Luca, but JT is a great defender, bruh.
he is
And
a
Luca
better defender.
is
And Luca do
not
not
that
play
great. And
defense.
JT averages what 27, 28 points a game. So I
This
think
is
that's closer than
true.
people think. I think
Uh,
JT, hot take right here. I think JT is who people want or think Ant-Man is.
Okay. Okay, I can see
Mm.
that. I can see that.
And I
Hey,
think that,
and he does get a lot of hate. I don't know
mm,
if it's because he be copying the greats or
mm,
whatever. I don't know what it is, but he
yeah.
does get a lot of hate, and I wish he wouldn't get as much hate because he is a great player, and he's
Hmm.
definitely a top 5, 10 player in the league. This year,
Hmm.
last year, the year before that, like he's been balling for a while. He doesn't get as much love as I think he should.
Hmm. And I think, like I said, I think he is. Now, I don't know why he's not considered for the face of the league. Like you said, maybe because some of the stuff he does is kind of corny. But he's a 6'8", guy. He doesn't really have any troubles outside the court. He's made like all NBA team, what, 4 times in a row now, first team.
Yeah.
He's won the Olympic gold medal. Just want to chill. I know he didn't win Finals MVP, but I would say he's still the best player on the Celtics.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
Ant is younger than him. Ant definitely has time to be. I know we kind of got off topic now. It's kind of like an Ant versus JT debate, but Ant definitely still has time to be the face of the league and this and that. But I just feel like we're kind of prematurely giving Ant that title of like Ant, he's next Jordan, this guy. When in reality,
Yeah.
he's
In
played. Now,
reality, he's not better than Jason Tatum.
yeah, I would say not. I don't believe he is. I don't believe he is. No.
I don't believe he is
Hmm.
better than Jason Tatum either. But I mean, and the face of the league is always not. It's not always the best guy, but the face of the league has to be top three. And I don't
Yeah.
think Ant Man is top three right now.
Hmm. Now, who would you say is the face of the league? Braun still?
I mean, I wish it was still Braun. I love Braun. I think Braun the
Hmm.
best player ever. Whatever, whatever. Cool. But right now, I'd probably have to go Steph because
Steph?
he's a couple years younger, and everybody loves Steph Curry still.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go Steph for right now.
I was honestly I wasn't even thinking about Steph, but Steph is a good choice. Like you said, everybody can kind of relate to Steph. He's smaller, he can shoot. He has a wife and kids. Great family man and all that.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna still roll with Braun because man, it's if you go on ESPN or anything, any time of the day, whether
that's true.
it could be football season. They're gonna have a topic about Braun on ESPN.
Yeah, bro,
So
Braun ate brunch with
yeah,
JJ Redick. What do
it's
you think they were talking about? Like,
about
bro,
oh,
leave this
mm,
man alone. You know what? I guess I gotta renege on
mm,
my statement and say it
mm.
is Braun because that's all
they
you hear about on ESPN.
they try to put Braun in anything. I'm a Lakers fan. I get tired of hearing about Braun and the Lakers. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn, like
like
uh,
I'm watching soccer and they talking about how
uh,
LeBron is part owner of Liverpool. Like, bro, come on, bro, leave
yeah.
Braun alone.
Now I know you said LeBron is the Rob. Now that's kind of sounds weird though. LeBron is the Robin, but he's the face of the league.
Now, again, the face of the league has not always been the very best
That's
player in the league.
mhm. Who would you say is like your top three Robins
Top three Robins, like right now or
right
of
now?
all
Yeah.
time?
Well, we could do right now and all time.
Right now, I'm gonna have to go. I mean, if we're talking about LeBron being Robin, I gotta go LeBron. And then I'll probably go Jalen Brown because we're
Hmm.
gonna say Jason Tatum's a bad man. And then, man, I'm biased because I am a Thunder fan. I'm gonna go J Dub
J
because he
Dub.
could do everything.
Yeah, that's another duo we didn't really touch on. I could, we can include all duos. We could, but SJ and J Dub, that's a solid duo as well. I feel like that's more like well, I guess you could say in Boston they kind of have a trio thing going on with Porzingis. But I would
Yeah,
say like Chet. I thought Chet was gonna be the Robin for a while, and then J Dub
yeah.
emerged, and it's like he making
Well,
all
Chet
star
got
teams.
injured
Hmm.
last year, and then J Dub emerged, and it's like, hey, I'm not taking a step back. My foot's still on the gas. Like I'm ready to go.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say you're probably right. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, Cat and Brunson.
Yeah.
I think one of
Uh,
those two is better than Dub.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say
I
Brun.
mean,
I'd s-
I would say that Brunson's probably the better player, and then Cat's the Robin because it's
yeah.
Brunson's team. Not necessarily he's the better player, but
Hmm.
it's his team,
Yeah, I
and then
think of
Cat's
Cat
the
as a
Robin.
Robin.
So
But I
I
would
can
say
see
Cat is
Cat
better
being
than
better than J Dub.
Dub. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, again, I said I was biased, so I'm gonna still keep J Dub because my guy. But I think you're right. I think Cat is better than him.
But to stay on the topic of sidekicks, I know some of KD's old sidekicks, Russ and Harden. Who do you think like career will benefit more, or who would you like to see win a ring more, or who has more pressure? Actually, first, who has more pressure to perform this playoffs, and then who would you like to see win a ring?
Okay, so who has more pressure to perform in these playoffs? It's got to be Harden because
Hmm.
he has a bigger role on his team.
Hmm.
Um, and especially with injury prone Kawhi, if Kawhi goes down and they still continue to play, it's gonna be Harden. It's gonna be the Harden show.
Yeah.
Um, who would I like to see win the ring more? I mean, Russell Westbrook's my favorite player, so I'm gonna go Russell Westbrook.
Hmm.
But it's kind of weird. I feel like even with this ring, like I feel like James Harden, if he wins the ring, it'll be a bigger jump to his legacy
Hmm.
than if Russell Westbrook wins this ring. Because if Russell Westbrook wins it with the Nuggets, it's like okay, he went to the Nuggets, they were championship caliber, they already won. Well, with Harden, it's like okay, he went to the Clippers. It was him and Kawhi thugging it out, going crazy, hooping. They 1-2, and then they won the ring together. With the rest stuff, it'll just be like Russ was just a part of the team.
Mm. Yeah, I think I would like to see Russ. Russ is like one of my favorite players. I actually got a Russ jersey on right now. I like to see Russ win it more than Harden, but I think I have to agree with you. Like if Harden were to get it, Like Harden, I mean, some people don't like it'd be who's better, Harden or AI. I think Harden would overtake AI.
I think me personally, I think Harden's already over
Yeah, I
AI,
mean,
but
some people already have him over. I mean,
yeah,
I personally do too, but I mean, well, I don't have to really sit and think about that one. But I think with that ring, it for sure puts him over AI.
yeah,
Like you said, if Kawhi can't manage to stay healthy, it's all on Harden. It's all on him.
yeah,
And Russ is kind of he's coming off the bench a lot of times. Um, I do feel like with Russ though, man, like the thing about it would be cool to see him win because guards like him don't really win. Like
yeah,
explosive, like those freak athlete type point guards, like Baron Davis, he never won. John Wall never got one.
yeah,
D Rose hasn't, never won one. John
yeah.
Morant, he hasn't won
He
one
has
yet.
one, yeah,
It's kind of like they're like a running back. They have like a short shelf life. Like when they're there, they're
hmm,
awesome, but they don't
yeah,
really, it's kind of like they gave up some of their like other abilities, like their dribbling or their shooting
yeah.
or their passing ability to get like
The
athleticism.
athletic monster, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Mike Vick or well, Lamar Jackson's solid
Lamar,
throw,
yeah.
but
Now he
even
is,
then,
but he
yeah.
wasn't in the beginning.
So it's kind of like they got a short shelf life, and they haven't really been proven that like okay, you can win championships with this play
Yeah,
style.
with this type of guard on your
hmm
team.
And I would say with guys like that, I don't know if they can really be the 1A on a team. Now Rose is probably about the closest that it got. I think Rose is probably like because Rose is a bit more versatile than the rest of them. You know what I mean? He can
Yeah,
dribble maybe I don't know, bit better. Well, Baron Davis was a good dribble. Baron Davis was solid. I mean, Baron Davis had good handles. But
yeah.
Rose is kind of more like all around, felt more like he was like a team player type
I
of guy in a way.
feel like D Rose was probably the best of that guard,
hmm
of that type of guard, but and he got the closest, like you said,
hmm
and it just didn't, it just didn't pan out.
But I would say like even if Rose were to be on a team with somebody else, I think they would instantly Rose would be the Robin. Like if Rose is on a
Yeah,
team with Giannis, I think Giannis is better than Rose or Jokic
yeah,
or even another guard, KD. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think that those guys are all time great players, obviously, but I think like if he was on a team with somebody else, he would be the Robin just because he's just a smaller, explosive
Hmm.
guy. Um, but yeah, well, it'd be exciting to see both of them win. I think man. So with Wimby though, like that's another duo actually. D Fox and Wimby. If where do you got them amongst the NBA duos? I know they're not in the playoffs.
And I know they're not in the playoffs, but I got D Fox and Wemby probably. I don't know where I had D Fox and Sabonis.
hmm
Um, I would say I had them probably middle of the pack. So I'm gonna have to just stick with them being middle of the pack. So if I just say I had D Fox and Sabonis 15, I'll probably put them at 14 or 13 now with the Wemby instead of Sabonis, just because Wemby was the blocks leader this year and
hmm
he missed like 20, 30 games. So for him to keep that
hmm
title, he was running away with it already.
Yeah.
He probably would have ran away with Defensive Player of the Year as well had he stayed healthy.
Yeah, hopefully Wimby can come back. Now that's the thing though. Dame just came back. Oh, he's coming back. He had blood clots. I think it was in his knee though. And the deep vein thrombosis. Wimby had the same thing allegedly in his right, shoulder. And like Wimby's out for the season, but Dame is coming back in, a couple months or so, like a month or so.
Yeah.
Uh I don't know necessarily know how that kind of stuff works, but that is a
Well,
bit suspicious.
yeah. I mean, now I like you said, I don't know how it works, so I'm not gonna say like it's not different at all
They
because one was leg
tanking,
and one was a
Pete.
shoulder, but they was definitely tanking. Yeah, like they were like, okay, look, he's injured, he's gonna miss. We might not even make the play in. Let's just go ahead and tank. And
hmm
I mean, I have no issue with tanking though. I've never had an issue with teams tanking. You suck.
Wow.
You trash. What you gonna do? You can't do nothing but try to get better, and the only way to get better is through the draft and free agency. And
Yeah,
nobody wants to go to your team if you're garbage.
yeah. I know another team that's been well, they lost in the play-in was Levine and DeMar. Now they've been to three straight play-ins,
Oh
bruh.
man.
And they on different team. They on different teams now. And they lost. What's going on
Yeah,
with Levine and DeMar now? Is there
man.
or what's going on with the Kings in general?
Okay, we're gonna start off with Levine and Demar. They were on the Bulls together, but they're
Mm-hmm.
both they never were the number one option.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were the number one option, but they aren't good enough to be the number one option, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So So it's two, number two players on the same team
Hmm.
thinking, one's a number one, one's a number two. It's just, it didn't work out. And then they went to the Kings. DeMar tried to get away from Zach LaVine. He said, "Let me go to the Kings." We got D Fox, who's the number one. We got Sabonis, who's number two, and then we got me. I could be two B. Like I'm gonna be there. I'm
Hmm.
gonna hit my shots, whatever. And then Zach LaVine followed him, and
No, my thing
they're
is
back.
why
They're back losing
why would the Kings pick up Levine and DeMar if they couldn't win the play-in or make the playoffs in the East? What the hell make you think they finna in
in
the
the
West?
West. Nothing.
Damn, that was
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking.
yeah.
I mean, it's him and Nico Harrison must have been out there making decisions together at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. The Kings, man. Hopefully they can come
I mean,
around.
a
I
Nico
don't
Harrison decision, it hurt the Mavs as bad as it hurt the Mavs. They're still in the play-in.
know. But
Like
that's Luca. Luca managed to get two teams into the playoffs. Or into
that's
the
true.
he got the Mavs in and he got the Lakers
And they
in.
got Lakers in. Well, I mean, yeah, it is Luca, but I mean,
Mhm.
they made it. They're still there. They're still in.
Yeah, but that's gonna go ahead and for the most part close up this show. But we're just gonna go ahead and end it on this last question. Pete, man, so what team would benefit the most if an old retro player could come back? Teams only in the playoffs
Mm,
could
only in
come
the
could come
playoffs.
back to that team.
Who? I got two great options right now. I got, you know what? I'm gonna just roll this one. Give me Shaq to the Lakers.
Shaq to the
Give me
Lakers.
Shaq to the
That'd
Lakers.
be pretty unstoppable.
That's pretty unstoppable. My next one was Will Chamberlain to the Warriors,
Where's
but I'm taking Shaq to the Lakers.
Shaq to the Lakers? I think that's probably number one. That all they need is a big Bron, Shaq, Luca,
Shaq, Luca.
AR. But what now? Could players currently playing like could Braun go back to Cleveland? Like could the Cleveland
I
Braun go back to
mean,
Cleveland?
if even if Cleveland Braun went back to Cleveland, I don't think that would be better than
Yeah, not being
prime
better.
Shaq with LeBron still. So, I mean, we'll say for the sake of argument, no. But
Mm.
even if so, I think it wouldn't matter.
I think my pick is now that'd probably be number one. I think I'm gonna have to say, uh, man, Kareem on the Bucks would be cool. Patrick Ewing on the Knicks.
Yeah.
Uh, who's all in there? Dwight. They can go to the Magic. Celtics, man, go ahead and give me Larry Bird on the Celtics.
Ooh,
Let me get Larry Legend
man,
on the Celtics.
man.
But I
So
don't know. They too deep at the forward spot
I was
now.
about to
Like,
say, hold
like
on.
it's only
I was about
one
to say,
ball.
do we think we should go Bill Russell
So
on the Celtics?
I don't trust Bill
Uh,
Russell, man.
KG on the Timberwolves?
OKG, okay. Ooh,
Because
Ant Man and KG.
The Timberwolves don't have a big.
Yeah, elite big.
I
They
mean,
got
they
Randall,
got Julius Randle,
but
but
like I said, they don't got
again, they
elite
don't have no
big.
big.
Yeah.
They got.
Mhm.
If KG went over there, that would be nice.
Oh, Melo to the Nuggets.
They
Hey,
got a
Melo not getting
scorer.
off that. Hold
Melo
on,
not
bro.
getting off the ball though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He
So
not.
that 30-point triple double I was talking about Jokic averaging, he gonna average
Mm-mm.
a triple single.
What if Dream went to the Rockets? You think they could do something?
Ooh, and now if Dream went to the Rockets, I think they might make something shake. They
Mm.
still not gonna win the chip though, not over Lakers and Shaq, but
Yeah, yeah. I'm
I
trying
think
to think.
man,
Clippers, they can bring like Chris Paul. Like, well, Chris Paul currently playing Blake Griffin or something. But even then, Bob
who,
McAdoo or somebody.
yeah,
I don't think that would be
Clippers ain't
enough.
got nothing.
Hawks, Dominique Wilkins would come
Dominique
back.
Wilkins, but the Hawks, man, they not even gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Heat, they can bring back Alonzo or something. But I think, like
Nah,
you said, that Shaq and that Braun and Luca, that's
yeah, I
OP.
think that's OP. I mean
Mm.
the Thunder with KD, but
Yeah, he
we
currently
saw the Thunder
playing
turn up
though.
with KD. And, yeah,
Mm. Yeah, that would be pretty. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Pacers, Reggie Miller. I
Pacers.
mean,
Yeah, Paul George. Oh, Paul George currently
ooh, Paul
playing
George.
though.
Yeah,
He could.
yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Ooh, man, yeah.
I think you hit the
I
nail
think
on the head with Shaq.
niggas still got to be Shaq and the Lakers because
Yeah.
the Lakers have Jackson Hayes, but
Hmm.
it's they don't
Not.
have a big either. It's kind of like the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Um,
He a
so
decent backup big. Like he a good backup big to
yeah,
have, but he can't
he's
be
gonna
the
be a
main.
great. He's gonna be a great 2 minute a night player for
With Shaq,
Shaq because
yeah,
Shaq gonna average 40 minutes a night.
yeah, yeah. That's gonna be pretty crazy. But that's gonna conclude this episode of the Backyard Bullies podcast. If you still are watching, thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. We trying to grow the channel. Pete, you got anything you want to say?
Man, I really appreciate y'all, man. I came back, man. I'm feeling better, feeling great. I'll be
Yes,
back next
sir.
week. Hopefully, man, next week I'm coming back Thunder and four. Thunder
Well,
and
yeah, I
four.
guess I could see that. Hopefully, Rockets, they up or something. But
Let's
I'm
see.
hopefully Lakers in four. Lakers in four.
Come on. Y'all have a good one.
Ma-
Appreciate y'all. Like,
All
comment,
right,
subscribe.
all right, y'all have a good one. Peace.